and Center City tonight.
Tonight, we're taking you closer to this storm than ever before with Storm Ranger 10, the radar on wheels that gives us the most accurate forecast possible. It is scanning the skies in Glassboro, New Jersey right now.
And we're bringing you locked-in coverage from the shore to the Pennsylvania suburbs. Aaron Baskerville is live in Atlantic City, and Brandon Hudson is in Darby.
But we'll begin with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Tammy. Susie, Tammy, this storm is really packing a dangerous punch.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Every storm has a kind of a different scenario to it. It's not often you see storms like this. I have to say, in my career, not too many. Let's start with the Doppler radar right now. We're looking at the heavy rain moving across the area at this point from Philadelphia back toward Allentown, out in some parts of Chester County. Let's go a little bit closer, and you can see these pockets of heavy, steady rain coming down. This is going to continue for another 4 or 5 hours. We'll pick up 1 to 2 inches of rain overnight tonight. Let's go ahead and widen now. You can see that snow wrapping back around. That's another concern we have for tomorrow late in the day. Some very cold air wrapping around this system. But you notice this little hole right there? That's where we're watching the center of this storm at this point, and it's going to continue to strengthen, moving past the area. Now, it looks like we're going to see perhaps the blowing snow moving in by tomorrow late in the day. What's going to happen is we see heavy snow in the Poconos. That's where we could see 6 to 12 inches of snow. The rest of the area could start to see snow coming down. Little or no accumulation, perhaps just on grassy areas. Don't worry, it'll melt by Saturday, but because it's coming down through those 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, we could see whiteout conditions for your commute tomorrow evening. The next concern we have is all of the wind driving that water up along the shoreline at high tide early on Saturday morning. That's when we're going to see the best chance of coastal flooding sometime between 8 and 11 on Saturday morning. And then the rest of the weekend is just going to be breezy and sunny. So your first alert is for the entire area. This starts at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, and it lasts through 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. Depending on what neighborhood you live in, you will see some of these conditions. You'll see those 50 to 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts across the entire area. The Jersey Shore, the Delaware Shores, coastal flooding, that is something you have to watch out for. Heavy mountain snow, that's the Poconos, maybe even parts of the Lehigh Valley. And then that wet snow that's not really going to stick too much, but it's certainly going to blow around and create perhaps whiteout conditions. That's for South Jersey, Philadelphia, the Pennsylvania suburbs, and at least the northern half of Delaware. We'll talk more about all this, and we'll take a closer look at your neighborhood when I come back in just a couple of minutes. Jacqueline?
All right, Tammy, and let's continue our team coverage now with NBC 10's Brandon Hudson live in Darby.
Brandon Cruz there preparing for possible power outages.
That's right, Jim, and we're by an area that's known to flood with the weather that we're having coming our way. We've had a steady rainfall for the last hour and a half, but we're right here, right by the Darby Creek. And this stretch of the Darby Creek here, we'll shed a little light on it for you. It's right by several businesses, and there's also a bank on the other side and a SEPTA bus stop. This is just one area that's on high alert for the next 24 to 48 hours. A construction crew secures their Northern Liberty site ahead of the storm, as the city warns equipment, scaffolding, and fencing could go flying during the high winds tomorrow. This crew already has to scale back some work because of the rain. With heavy wind gusts expected, being inside the building will be a gamble.
Sometimes it's pretty bad because there's no windows, you know, like the wind comes, like, it's strong, like sometimes, even when we are inside, you know, but it's still like, we can feel the wind pretty good.
PECO will have crews outside too. They will be on standby in Philly and surrounding counties. As of right now, there won't be any additional utility workers to help with tree trimming and removing down power lines.
If it's safe, our crews are going to go out there and continue to work. It doesn't matter if it's raining or if there's some wind. Our crews will still go out and do what they can to restore service.
While workers look ahead to the worst of the storm tomorrow, we saw people enjoying tonight on East Passyunk Avenue.
It puts a slight damper on it, but you know, any weather you can live through is good weather.
The storm happens on the first week of the East Passyunk Avenue Restaurant Week. The owners of La Scalabira believe the bad weather will boost business.
Being on Passyunk Avenue, a lot of the people like to stroll around, so once it starts raining, it actually works in our benefit in certain ways.
And again, you're getting another look at Darby Creek at the level that it's at right now. It could change over the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, speaking of the winds, I spoke to the organizer of an outdoor beer festival at the Navy Yard this weekend. He said they already have their tents up, but they'll keep an eye on them for tomorrow, and if they get blown over or they get damaged, they will try to fix them before the event on Saturday. Live in Darby, I'm Brandon Hudson, NBC 10 News.
And some people choosing to look at the silver lining with the storm, Brandon, like those restaurants. Moving now to the Lehigh Valley. While the entire region is going to feel the effects of tomorrow's storm, crews in the Lehigh Valley spent the day preparing for a mix of rain and snow. Up in Penn Argyl Borough, crews cleaned leaves from gutters before the storm rolled in. PennDOT says they will have their eyes on the roads and they are preparing for whatever falls from the sky.
Lehigh Valley birds might see a little snow, maybe some rain, but our northern counties up in Monroe County and Poconos area might see a significant amount of snowfall.
Waste Management is asking Allentown customers to have their trash and recycling out tonight to help crews that are getting an early start.
High tide and storm surges could threaten coastal towns in Delaware. Crews in Delaware City put up barriers and have big pumps ready for any surging water from the Delaware River. Local businesses tell NBC 10 they're bracing for damaging winds and potential flooding here. Police say they're preparing for the worst.
We're always concerned when you're next to the sea level and you have a combination of a full moon, high tides, and then gusty winds that are in the prediction.
Neighbors tell us there are some extremely low-lying spots in Delaware City that don't usually fare very well in storms like this. Make sure you have weather alerts turned on in the free NBC 10 app. You can track the storm with our live interactive radar and get updated hour-by-hour conditions with the most accurate first alert forecast.
And before you go anywhere tomorrow morning, check in with us first. NBC 10 News Today starts at 4 a.m. with breaking weather and traffic coverage you need before you hit the road.
But first, let's get to some of the other major headlines we're following tonight.
A local mayor convicted of selling his office for political gain.